Yeah. Reish Lamed base.
Right at the bottom.
Yeah. Lamed Daled.
Lamed Daled.
The butcher.
We did Lamed Gimel yesterday?
Butcher from Muncie or from anywhere else. Right?
It was that case.
Yeah? Yeah. I remember very well. How many years ago was that?
Oh my God, it's like 20 years ago.
I remember the rabbi was
20 years ago?
he was getting married again in our part of the world.
So actually, the guy moved to Shai Chesed, the butcher from Muncie.
They let him in?
He was the big macher over there. Came like they didn't know, but my dad was going to shir over there for a while, and this guy was like running the whole thing. He didn't knew about it, and someone came over and says, "Let this guy in the shir, the butcher from Muncie." He wasn't giving the shir, but he was like organizing it, and he, yeah. Shalom Rav. Excuse me for not getting up and not feeling 100%. So,
Look after yourself.
anyway, it's a chazar is a sheikhet. Chazar is a tabach. This guy sells treif meat, right? Actually, I'll tell you a story that happened with him. Ma'aser Shahaya, my friend was running a kollel, and there was a Talmud Chacham sitting in the back for years. He used to answer all the questions, right? My friend's not the biggest, starkest guy, but he had a kollel. He had a few guys, right? A very laid-back matzav. And there's this guy sitting in the back learning for a while, always there. And he used to ask him all the kashas, and he knew all the answers, and he was, chashuv Talmud Chacham. And he invited everyone to a wedding. He's getting married. This guy's like in his 60s or something. He's getting married. He invites the kollel. He invites all the guys over there to come to his chuppah. And this guy showed his friends, so look, we want to go there and make this guy simcha. And his friend said, reads the name. I'm not sure if I should even say his name. So he's like, this is the butcher from Muncie. So, what does he look like? He starts describing, yeah, that's the butcher from Muncie. So the kid's the guy sitting there, and he's getting remarried. And he didn't know if they should. Now he's the Rosh Kollel. The guy actually lives in the neighborhood here, so he said, should he send his kollel to go to the butcher for Muncie's second wedding?
No.
As you know, his first wife divorced him, got rid of him. And now the guy's sitting there learning Yom V'Layla. He's Isaac B'Teira, and he didn't know what to do. So he went to if he says we're not going. But like it's his achrayus to ruin this guy's wedding. Like, what does he do? He didn't know what to do. So he went to, at the time Rav Steinman was sitting by the door. He went to Rav Steinman, told him the story, and said, what should we do? So Rav Steinman said, we don't have to be chayshish that he did tshuva. You don't have to be chayshish that it's emes, that you sing and act like it's tshuva. But you shouldn't be mevayish him. You shouldn't go out of your way just in case, and try and ruin his life. And go be mufas. Like, people didn't know. People didn't know. No one knew what the guy's name was. Everyone knew the butcher. Anyone knows what his name was? Anyone knows his family name?
I don't remember.
You know his family name? Anyone?
He had a
up?
He had a big family.
Yeah, a very big family. So people didn't spread the name. But I'm not saying his name. But they asked for that. So Rustam said you shouldn't be vayishim and all that type of stuff. You got to be careful. But you can't be. I can't remember if they went. I think maybe he said a couple of you should go. Just shouldn't be like. Anyway, I can't remember. I can ask the guy. I call him up and ask him, or how Steinman passed
I
him.
always wondered about the psychology of a person who does something like that. For years, I remember everyone had shilas. What do we do with our cooking stuff and our pots and our pans? And we were very makel because it was a huge financial hit to lots of people.
Who didn't suffer from him?
I didn't.
I didn't. I lived in Teaneck.
Who else didn't suffer from him?
Chabad. All of Chabad didn't suffer from him.
They wouldn't use the Satler Shkita.
Well, I don't know. You know why Chabad.
But Chabad he traved the whole time, so it's not.
That's right.
Yeah, no, it's strange because the chicken's not dead.
Oh, that was below the belt. That was.
What's that?
Huh?
What's that? That's a joke, right?
The chicken's not dead? Just like the Rebbe's not dead, the chicken's not dead, so it's straight.
Thank you.
A little slow.
Our diet insisted on the chickens should walk to the Shkita. No joke. They should
It's
go-
halacha.
halacha, they should
Chicken,
walk
the
to
chicken is dead, but he's coming back.
He never went.
That's not shot.
He's still with us. Ah,
That's what he was saying.
Okay, so it says in Shulchan Aruch, Chazal Tabach, how does this butcher do tshuva? So, Beidek la'atzmai, he could do his own shchita, or moicha and sell. Sorry. Tabach. Chazal Tabach, so Beidek la'atzmai, he checked with himself a moicha, v'yetz a treifa mitachas yodai. Turns out he sold a treifa, right?
Wait.
So
That's the case, that's the case.
Originally,
He's telling
On
us the
purpose
case.
he sold it, or
He's telling us the
accidentally he sold
case.
it?
He checked it, and it turns out it was treif.
he still sold it.
He
Oh,
sold
and he
it.
still sold it. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. So Shiil Bashchaim, you should dress like a Haredi. Yilbash Chayrim, Yischas Shchayrim. I'm not sure what this would be Yilbash and Yischas. I guess it means use dark linen. I'm not sure what Yischas Shchayrim means. But it means
In the 10th parak, it says if you want to make an Avera, you go someplace strange, you dress in
Dress
black,
black,
and do what you
yeah.
want.
So here he's saying dress black, dress in black.
It's to hide, it's not to look like a chassid.
No. So some people say it's to be why do you dress in black? Do machnia. It's machnia you. You're not like dressed colorful and happy. You dress achna. Like you see these guys wearing a black t-shirt. It's machnia him. You feel the achna.
You're part of the in crowd in Park Slope, okay?
Yeah. You should go to somewhere people don't know you. And then what? We saw this right of if the guy gives back an Aveda, he finds a gold watch and gives it back, that means he's a Baal Tshuva. Right? Because why did he sell this chicken?
For the money.
For the money.
Yeah.
Now, you see, he found the watch he could have kept, was worth $10,000. He gave it back, means he's no longer Oyev Mammon.
So when I was
But
in
if he
graduate
doesn't find anything expensive, then
Too bad. It's
so-
a puzzle.
So
he has to find something. He has to find something.
Yeah, his
So-
bad luck. He's got to find something possible.
interestingly enough, this works with.
Very interesting.
When I was in graduate school, at the Brooklyn College campus, I was friends with the mashgiach of the kosher McDonald's there, whatever it was called, kosher corner.
Yeah.
And he was teaching me some of the things that were involved in whether he accepted, deliveries for food. And he weighed everything. And if the weight was off, he never ordered from that shochet again or whatever, because he was basing it on the Rambam. Same concept that it's about money. If you're playing with money, if you're cheating with money with this, then you can't trust the shechita.
My grandmother used to say about one of the very expensive hechsherim in Eretz Yisrael. I can't trust them, they're gone oven. It's too expensive. Can't trust the shechita, they're gone oven.
This is a serious guy. He would.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know, I almost was slightly in the shechita business for a very short kufa, and the cost of doing a good shechita in Europe, they send sheikhs to Europe. What does it cost? They send them to, it costs, you pay $1,000 for each sheikh, you send 10 sheikhs, it costs you $10,000, right? Whether it's batats or Reuben or whatever it is, it costs the same thing more or less, right? They only take whatever's kosher anyway. They have deals with the slaughterhouses. So they stay there for maybe a day, they're there for 2 days. It costs you $10,000. The whole shipment comes back about $200,000. So the whole shechita costs 5%, right? So the fact that the meat, kosher meat, costs like a good hechsher costs 3-4 times the price of treif meat of kosher meat.
Could be they found treifus and they can't
Yeah,
use
it's
it.
with this percentage.
Yeah, but the goyim take the treifus. They don't throw it in the garbage. They just take whatever's good. They don't waste money. Maybe they come up with slightly less sheep if it's not good. But either way, the money, you're paying the same amount to the sheikh whether he works for the Eidah or for Chabad, right? They all make the same money, these mashgichim. They're all making like whatever, it's $400 a day, I think they go back when I was looking into it. So why some sherim charge 150 shekels a kilo and some are like 80 shekel a kilo? All margarine. And Rabbanut is like 40 shekel a kilo, not kosher is 20. How does it go from like 20 to 100? It's like 5 times the price. The shechita costs 5%.
The Rabbanut check here, so it's a bit easier.
Costs nothing. You're in the business, aren't you, Rabbi Schwartz?
Yes.
So you have an explanation for us?
They got on them.
Why an expensive hechsher costs twice the price of a...
They're gonna oven.
That's
No, I do not know that yet.
Okay.
They're gonna oven.
So you're saying it's all treif based on what we're saying here.
Saying that the best Hersher
It's business, it's business.
in Manchester had no taste. That's why it's the best Hersher.
No, it's a good business, that's all.
He has to be Master David when he's in a different place when he's dressed.
Yeah. He moves to Monsey, he dresses in Shchairim, and he finds a gold watch, then he's kosher.
He doesn't live in
Assuming he didn't come from Monsey originally. If he came from Monsey, he's got to go somewhere else. Okay. So...
You can't find such a thing.
Oh, which is
He says bad luck. If the Abisha wants him to be Machzeh B'tshuva, Chayzer B'tshuva, and be accepted, then he'll send him a nice gold watch.
We'll send him if he really wants to.
Yeah.
There's a mashgiach in Buffalo. There were 2 butcher shops, and once a year somebody would sell treif. We'd close them down for a month, and the other guy would sell. We'd go back and forth. You had to like check them every day. You had to make sure that the meat was kosher.
Oh, really?
What did Rabbi Greenberg say? And what did Rabbi Garawi say?
Somebody told me,
In Buffalo?
They didn't need any of it because they were the Lubavitch.
when they were in Gateshead Yeshiva, I guess around 60 years ago, they had the one kosher butcher over there, and turns out that for years, I'll tell you who told me this. My dad told me this actually. You can verify the story with him. So the mashgiach used to come in, and Daman Shachar said in the morning, put his tefillin on, Daman Shemona Esra, turn around, and then the butcher used to bring in all the treif meat when he was davening Shemona Esra, and facing the corner, right? This was going on for, I don't know what, 10 years, 20 years, I don't know how long it was going on for. And until eventually, the Goyish guy who's there, the guy that cuts the meat, he told the mashgiach, can't deal with it anymore. Every time you turn around, they come in, they bring in, they're paying so much of customers for this kosher stuff.
That's horrible.
Busted by the goy.
Busted by his employee.
Saying that there was a hashgacha in America, and the mashgiach was choished, there was something wrong. He couldn't prove it.
Yeah.
So he stayed late one night, and he saw that the back of the freezer opened, the broken tray for meat, and they closed it. That how you going to find out? I mean, that
This is obviously a massive nisayah.
We used to mark them. The meat would come in, we'd mark everything with black light reactive ink, so you couldn't really see it.
Oh yeah.
We'd write the parsha name on it or something, and then
And you'd know that therefore.
yeah.
Wow.
It's interesting that because the guy would never know the parsha. Every shechita they would put the sedra
Oh yeah.
on the side of the beef.
Yeah.
When we were in Geneva a few weeks ago, after the ski trip, the bitachon, asked us a bunch of questions before they would let us into the shul. They didn't know us. The key question was, what are they reading today in the synagogue?
Yeah.
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 That's what they ask, huh?
Apparently, my friend, I have a bunch of
No, but
British
the
guys.
point
in my yeshiva.
was-
Apparently, recently there was some guy selling treifas I don't know where
In England?
and he committed suicide. They figured they busted him and he committed suicide.
Really?
Where?
Wow. In England.
Yeah, a few places you have to.
England's gone.
It's obviously
You think
a very big new sign for
He committed
people.
suicide because they busted him.
You could get your schayr for half the price. It's like wow, or a third of the price.
But the point is,
Don't know.
even if the
Sizer?
even the
Yeah.
Let's go, let's go.
Let's go.
Work out what the sedra is. You wouldn't know next week's sedra.
So v'yachzav vayde b'dav chashuv oy. Alternative B, yetzi treifim b'tachas yadi b'dav chashuv.
That's more shy than him.
So he shechs a big cow and he says this is a treifa. Then we know that.
And he loses money.
And he loses, yeah.
A lot of money.
I guess in those days they didn't
has to be a lot of
have
money.
deals with whatever it is. There's a treifa, throw the thing out, and so then we'll know the guys.
The last look around.
Then we know the guy's a halacha guy. Okay, let's just see Lamed Hey in Kfar at the same time. Chazars Eid Zaymem. How does we'll see the next Shulchan Aruch because there's nothing really on the next one. Chazars Eid Zaymem. How does Eid Zaymem do tshuva? Sheirach l'mak b'shem makir noisai. V'nois loy mom chashov l'hayit sheker. They try and bribe this guy to be made sheker. V'loy ratzah. He says, I'm not interested in being made sheker. Then we know he's done tshuva. Okay, take a look in the Sma.
In both of these cases, damage to bin Adam L'Chaveroi. It's not just blood on Malcolm.
Yeah.
So tshuva, he has to.
Bin L'Chaveroi.
The shochet has to pay back the guy who.
The question is, what does the sheikh
No,
have
the
to pay
shochet
back?
doesn't have to pay back.
The sheikh, let's say he sold a guy a piece of chicken. He ate the chicken, right? But it wasn't kosher.
Yeah, so first it's to give them the difference
You say-
between non-kosher chicken and kosher cinnamon.
That's, you remind me of the joke. The guy comes to the office and says, "I've got no money. What should I do?" So he says, "You have a cow, or get a cow. Every day give it a liter of milk, and it'll give you a liter of milk back." He said, how am I going to make money if I give it a liter of milk? It gives me a liter of milk back. What's the difference? You're going to get kosher milk back.
Oh,
What's the halamina that the Shulchan has to give us a separate case of a zomin versus what we had yesterday in terms of a person who gave Adis sheker? In both cases, you have to go to
A different town. So Eitzayim doesn't have to go to a different town. None of that stuff. There's only one thing he can do. He doesn't have to wear shchayrim. He doesn't have to do.
Right, so this case is exactly identical, the solution is exactly identical. The someone gave Adis sheker, right? So why do we have a separate?
A separate thing for Eitzayim.
You want to have the shochet not be the butcher. Like, one guy slices the cow, one guy sells the cow. If the guy's slicing the cow, then he's not neman to say that it's kosher or treif because he's shy.
Okay.
You're saying that a separate person does the checking of the cow out?
A guy shechs.
Yeah.
He's going to get paid the same whether he shechs kosher or treif.
and the boy
You can't punish him for making it a treif. Otherwise, he'll never have a treif. So he shechs somebody else's cows, and then that guy sells the cow.
But here we're talking about where he's shechting his own cow. If he's shechting someone else's cow, then there's no issue. We're not worried. He's not going to lose. But if it's his cow, we're talking about a guy who shechts his own cow.
This is a tabach.
Tabach. He's a butcher.
Also a butcher?
Yeah, so he's a
Tabach is a
butcher.
butcher?
We had a fella in the
butcher
jewelry
or a
business who used to be a
Also
shochet.
shechs?
Why stop being a shochet? Before the shechita, the Malbot taken, I want 50 kosher and 20 glass. Before the shechita.
He'll say.
And that, you can't do
Okay, let's take a look at the Sma. Lamed Daled. Shir b'shchaim, I'm pretty much kasavti b'zev chmir b'tabach la bisha shchaim. Why from all the different cases, Dafka the butcher has to start dressing like a Haredi? B'shvil, sheich shel rabim, since he was machshel people in Avera, he was machshel people. Therefore, kadesh yikana libay, in order to give him some anivus, he should realize what he's done wrong. He should be mal b'shchairim to machnia himself.
So in these days,
Yashachris mashpela gaiva. You hear this? You think you're about gaiva? Start dressing more with more black clothes.
so these days the person.
Go look outside. See all the people dressed in black. They're much more novin. They're much more humble, and they don't have any zodin in their hearts.
Yes, they should dress up in shoddy clothing.
Yeah, look at
Yeah,
me.
basically.
I'm extremely humble.
Yeah.
I know.
If a guy, when you dress, the chassidus is married the pneumius. If you dress haughtily or whatever it is, whatever the appropriate word is, it's going to mashpia on you. So you dress like a shloch, like black and all. I guess it's machnia person. That's what it says here. Okay.
What about on Shabbos?
It doesn't make a chiluk. Doesn't make a chiluk. Maybe you got dafka on Shabbos. You know, you got these guys showing up on Shabbos with the ataras and the gold crown. You feel like, there was actually a guy came to our shul once, gave a huge drasha. Guy dressed like a real rebbe with a massive silver atara and the whole thing. He had a beautiful lomdasha thing. And then the guy next to me says, that's the guy they just arrested for stealing like 20 apartments. Nice Shaya Kakaya. They just got out of prison. Anyway,
Okay.
yeah. So
No, he got caught.
he got caught. Famous case in Beit Shemesh, if anyone remembers, whatever. I'm not going to get into details over here. All right. So was there a shach over here? No. Okay. Now we finished Lamed Daled. Tam v'nishlam. Time to simon Lamed Zayin. Skip Lamed Vav, straight to Lamed Zayin.
It's Lamed Hey.
Skip Lamed Hey and Lamed Vav, sorry. Skip both of them. Apsulim machmas hana.
Wait.
Who's posel edus because he's benefiting? Says the Shulchan Aruch.
Tell me where we are.
We're on page Reish Nun in the new editions.
Ner.
There's when
No, run.
we ran for it.
Run! Who's posel machmas hana? So it says the Shulchan Aruch. Kol edus sheish l'adam hanaba. If you have any benefit from giving testimony, posel lohaid. You are invalid. You're a posel aid. Your testimony is worthless. So all the stuff that the goyim do in America, you know, will give you testify and we'll let you out of prison
Professional
early.
witness.
Huh?
Professional witness.
Professional witnesses or the guys in prison, and we say we'll give you benefits if you testify. It's all worthless.
So how is this different from the cases that we've discussed before where it's a single matter of no B'davar? No B'davar means you're
Oh, so we're going to see. Very good, very good. Is this called Negeh B'davar, not Negeh B'davar? What's the difference? Let's see. Shulchan Aruch says if you have any hana, any benefit whatsoever, you pass on.
It's also no, unless you're doing it.
Look,
No, why is that no? You're standing in shul.
You have a friend, you're really a good aid,
Yeah.
and you have a friend who's in trouble, and you help him. So you're helping your friend. You have an argument. But
No, that's not a monistic hana. There's no money value. There's nothing. No one could prove you benefited. It could be one benefit. It could be your friend won't give you any hana from it. Maybe he'll say thank you very much. Here, I'll buy a bunch of flowers. Maybe he won't. You know what they say? No good deed goes unpunished, right?
right.
So normally you help your friend out, you're not going to get anything from it. I know a guy told me that his father runs a big yeshiva in Yerushalayim, and he had a big court case with his janitor, the building manager for 30 years. He decided to sue him, you know, as they do, for compensation, not giving enough tlushim and not giving enough all the benefits the government is taking. So he took it to court, right? So this guy, he's a Rosh Yeshiva. I'll tell you afterwards if you want privately who it is. He stood up in court and he said, I don't understand why this guy's suing me. I never did him any favors. The judge said, I'm a judge for 30 years. It's the best line I ever heard. Normally the guys that try and mess you over, the guys that you help them over, now it's like, instead of appreciating it, they decide to go the other way and try and get vengeance. So this guy, I didn't do any favors, was a janitor for 30 years. I never once helped him out. Why is he trying to sue me now?
So did Gary, but why does he hate me so much? I've never done him a favour.
Is that's an ancient question. Is there such a thing, what you said, is there such a thing as a truly altruistic deed? Because in some way you always get some benefit.
Well, or you try to.
Right, you're always doing anything there's always a reason why you're doing it. You may be testifying because you want the schar of being made, right? There's always a reason why you're doing it. As long as there's no reason why we're assuming you're going to lie, that's not enough you're going to lie. You're not going to show up and base in a lie for your friend just because he's your friend. That's the assumption. Okay, so says the Shulchan Aruch, Vichach. Therefore, now we're going to get into a very complicated case here. You've got to strap in. You got a piece of land that two partners own. Reuven and Shimon both own a property in Ramat Beit Shemesh, piece of karka. Karka's worth 1 million shekels. Each one has 500,000 shekels in this piece of land in Ramat Beit Shemesh. Now, Levi comes and says, this karka is mine. I want Reuven out of here. He's not getting Shimon out of here for whatever reason. We'll see. The land's mine. Reuven, I want Reuven out. I own that for 500,000 in the karka.
Reuven and Shimon.
Both own a piece of land.
Levi comes
and says, I want Reuven out. That's my land.
It was my land.
It was my land. Or Reuven bought it from me, or Reuven stole it from me, or doesn't matter what the case is. It doesn't specify.
He does.
At the moment, there's no specification why he's saying he wants Dafka Reuven out. It could be Reuven sold it from him. It could be, I don't know. It's irrelevant. Okay?
But Shimon's
Okay. What?
Levi's, Shimon's okay.
So Reuven and Shimon are partners. Yeah, Shimon's okay. Shimon's there. He owns 50%. Levi says Reuven's out. Reuven's got my half. Loima, saying, Sha'isa Shemacha Lahem, Gazla Mimenu. The guy that sold it to Reuven stole it from me. So Levi comes and says, Reuven, you bought this thing from Yankel. Yankel stole it from me.
I was waiting for you.
Yankel had to come in here somehow, right?
Always answer.
So Isa Shemachem, Yankel sold it to you. Yankel's a gun. If you thought Yankel's a guy, Yankel's a mobster. He stole it from Levi. He stole it from me. So then you don't have anything. You thought you bought a piece of land. You bought nonsense. You bought shmatas. So now what's the din? Ein Shutvai, Shimon can't come along now. Made lie. Shimon can't testify. Lifsal Eidei Ama'ara. What would Shimon do? Shimon come and say, the witnesses that Levi bought, Levi's witnesses, they're paid off, they're gone over him, they're crooks, they're psulim. Shimon can't testify that. Why? Because Shimon's not going to over. We got the case?
Why? He's still got half his land.
Oh.
What does it matter to him whether the land is...
Oh, very good. We're going to see. So it's talking about a case where he's still going to be affected by that split now. That's the case.
Why is he being on the aid and not on him?
What?
Levi has no claim unless he brings aid.
Levi brings Adim, that Yankel stole it from him. So Shimon could come and say, one of those Adim, I don't know if he stole it, one of those Adim you should know, he's a Poseladus, he was a Sheikhet. He's Poseladus. And therefore, my partner, Shimon, or my partner Reuven rather, he'll win. Okay? So Shimon can't testify. Ein Shutvai made lifsal Eidei Ma'arer. Kafilu Achelek Ashutuf lo yoyel edusa. He won't help, not for Reuven's chelik, not for Shimon's chelik, not for anyone's chelik. Elo im kain. There's only one way to do it. Elim kain silikatza mimena. He removes himself from this piece of land. V'konom yod. It's not enough that he writes dinudvar mainly. He says, I'm not going to have anything to do with this land. He's got to do a kinyan. He's got to give this guy the sada with a kinyan. V'konom yodai. Shenoisnoi l'shutuf. He gives it to his partner 100%. He says, it's nothing to do with me, I'm out of here. I don't own a pechelik in this karka anymore. Once he's misalak himself from the karka, now he can testify. Right? Because he's got nothing to benefit.
They've been partners for a while, so he gives to him by Kenyan. There's an unknown agreement that...
Maybe not. Once you gave it to him, too bad. You lost your field.
Who's Silakatzma?
Shimon can remove himself from this land and then testify the Levi's witnesses are psulim, and we don't have to worry that he's going to end up getting anything from this land because he's no longer under the land. He removed himself. He said, this is not my land anymore. He sells it. He's given it to Reuven. He owns nothing in it. Guess what? You ever went over to a friend and said, here, I'm giving you my esrog as matana and give it back to me? Sometimes a guy turns around and says, you know what? I decided to keep it. Did you really mean it? I'm not giving it back to you. When your friend turns around to you and says, you know what, I'll take $1 million piece of land, and he's hoping you're going to give it back to him. Not so fast. You know what? Right now I can't give any presents out. My wife said she doesn't want me to give it back. You'll find an excuse. I made it nether not to give any matanas for 30 days. So the guy's sitting there thinking like, oh my gosh, I just gave my way. Normally you're not going to do it unless the guy gives you something in return. You're not going to say, okay, take the land. You do it because the guy says, hey, I'll pay you for it. Okay.
It's not possible. Also, talking about this Kenyan,
You got to do Kenyan, yeah. Too late. You can't. You do Kenyan. You can't get the land back. You can't say. Okay, Vafilu. Keep going in the Shulchan Aruch.
So now Levi is no good. So Reuben gets his half,
Now Reuben's got the whole thing.
and Shimon's got nothing.
Levi tried to take away Reuben's half. He ends up with the whole. Yeah, Shimon gets nothing.
Shimon probably got paid for it. He probably bought it.
Yeah, he's not gonna misalik himself unless probably Reuben says, you know what, I'll give you your value. I'll give you the $500,000, right? He gives him $500,000. Then he's misalik says, I've got nothing to do with this field. I was paid off, right? I was paid off. I've got nothing to do with the field.
Then Reuben gets it back. Then Shimon gets it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Even if he did not remove himself, ad la'acha irur, until after Levi showed up, mahani. So you could be misalik yourself afterwards. You don't have to be misalik yourself before.
Before what? Before Levi shows up?
Yeah.
Or before
It's fine. No, before Levi shows up.
Even
The
though you,
error.
even though you think that if it's after there, then
Wait, so that doesn't make
Even though we know you normally tchilosik v'sefer b'kashrus, that you have to testify, you have to be kosher when you testified, and you have to be kosher when you testify, and when you saw it happening. Here, no, once, even if you were once the bailim, you once had an off from it, still you could testify now, because it's no longer relevant to you.
I don't understand. So,
Yeah.
what's the Havamina? Like he would sell his half to Reuven before Levi even shows up. Why would he do that?
you talk about a case where two should
Before the
Yeah,
tzuras.
I don't know why.
He,
He sold it.
yeah.
He didn't know Levi's gonna come. He just sold it because he needed the money. He was broke, needed money. He sold his half.
Then you have no case.
Yeah, no, there's no reason for him to sell it beforehand. You're right, but what he's saying is you should know it's talking about a case where he was selling himself afterwards. Okay, even though obviously it's afterwards.
All right.
That's
yeah.
the Kiddush.
That's the chiddush, yeah, exactly. V'tzach shekabel olav. Now, v'tzach shekabel olav. This is where it gets a little bit complicated. So what happens? He's misalik himself, this guy. Shimon says, I'm not under the field anymore, right? V'tzach shekabel olav shim yovi bal chayv yitrfenu miyad hashutuf. He's got to be mekabel. If someone, a bal chayv comes, right, and grabs it and says, hey,
Grabs what?
comes and says, I own that, give me that field. In other words, what's the case now? Yehuda comes and says, oh, hold on, 1 minute, 1 second, slow down. Shimon, you remember I lent you $500,000 10 years ago? And all your nechasim are meshubah to me? So that field that you bought, you were partners with Reuven, before you misalik yourself, right?
Yeah.
It's all very nice you misalik yourself, but that's my field. You owe me $500,000. I've come to collect it.
So,
Right.
So therefore,
I've come to collect my $500,000 field.
So he has to give him that.
So it's all very nice that you misalik yourself, but you can't. I want the field back. It's too late. I own that field before Reuben came along. I've got dibs on it. I've got first dibs.
He's got this. Now he gets the money because
No, you
it's
can't.
sold.
What? You can't sell a field that was meshubad. That's the whole point of shibud. You can sell
Oh,
it.
wait, the field was meshubah.
The field was meshubah,
Not
yeah,
just
yeah.
that he owed him the money.
He lent in the money b'shtar with Adam. All his chosim meshubad. Field's meshubad. It's very nice. You sold it. I want the field back now.
1 second. So they carry on.
So what's Reuven? So you can't be masalik. So how you masalik yourself? Any debt he owes, the guy can collect on that field, and then he doesn't have to pay. So how does it help to be masalik?
So who is Mikabah on himself to string out
So what happens? So Shimon has to be mekabel on himself, in order for it to be a real siluk, right? In order for it to be legit, that he has nothing from his karka anymore, right? So what does he have to do? He's got to be mekabel olav. Sach shekabel olav shemyavi bal chayv. If Yehuda comes, v'tefenu miyad hashutuf. If Yehuda comes and now grabs a field from Reuven, Yishalem lo d'meya. He'll pay him the cash. He'll say, I've got $500,000 cash. Take the cash, leave the field. And therefore, there's no hana from the field.
Does that
No,
happen
no.
in any transaction?
No.
That's only the transaction with it. That's because
Normally you buy a field. You buy a field. If it's meshubad, it's meshubad. Too bad.
Like
Yeah.
you should have known that this field of mine that I'm selling to you is Meshubah.
Yeah. You got to check the land registry. You check the land registry. Yeah.
Right. So I'm saying
You
this.
can check the
this,
land registry all you
this
want. But if
Kabbalah-
there's a star,
this
that
this
will never check the
is-
land registry. There's no way.
No, there's a call. Shtar is a call. Everyone knows that he lent him about $500,000 a year ago.
Who's this fellow that's going?
So if you're saying that if he's makabel upon himself
To pay cash,
to pay cash,
then he's no
how does
longer.
that change? How does that change?
So it's no longer
Receipts.
so it's no longer relevant to him whether he has the car or not. Either way, he's got to pay cash.
Right.
No, so now
So you're
So even if the guy comes to collect the field, you say, look, he's happy. He wants Reuven to get the. What we worried, we say he wants Reuven to get the field, so that way, if Yehuda shows up, he'll pay him off with the field instead of giving him cash, right? But now he's agreed to pay him cash either way. So it doesn't help him that Reuven gets a field. So he doesn't care if Reuven or Levi get the field. Either way, when Yehuda shows up, he's got to give Yehuda cash. It's very complicated.
So if he hadn't had that thought in mind,
We didn't know, did he?
Huh?
if Shimon didn't have that thought in mind when he sold his half to Reuven,
It doesn't matter what he had in mind. What's the
you
Mishnah?
said he's makabelim.
He's got it right. He's got to be makabel. That's the din. The Shulchan Aruch says when he does a siluk, it's not enough just to be misalik yourself. You got to be misalik yourself from the field, and also say if anyone wants to collect shibud from that karka that I was misalik myself from, I pay cash. I've got money in an escrow. They'll take the money from the escrow. Otherwise, it's not a good siluk. Otherwise, we're always worried he's going to lie for the field in order to get rid of his leivim. He'll always prefer the Reuven has the field. In that way, he can get off, the mafia's off them. They'll say, here, take the field. Reuven's got my field. I gave it to Reuven. I sold it to Reuven. Go take it from him.
Oh, my half, not my field.
Yeah, the half. You can't get Reuven's half, but at least get Shimon's half. So that, in other words, what we're worried about, we're always worried about here that he's got Nagia to keep the field in Reuven, by Reuven. He wants Reuven to get the field, because if Reuven doesn't get the field, if Levi gets the field, Levi comes and says the whole purchase was finagled. You bought it from Yankel stole it from me, and therefore neither of you ever owned the field. So when the mob comes and says, give us the field, they say, he thought he owned the field, but it was never his field. Here are witnesses that says that they bought it from a Ganef. It was a crooked purchase. It was really never his field in the first place. They thought they owned the field, they didn't. So it's always going to be in Shimon's interest to puzzle the Eidim, to puzzle Levi's Eidim, that it is a good purchase. The field does belong to Reuven. That way, he can pay off the mob. They will come and break his legs. Hey, take the field. So what does he have to? So how does he get out of this negia? How does he get out of that negia? The way out is to be mekabel olav shem yovi bal chayv. If a bal chayv comes, the mob come to get the field. He'll pay cash. Because you can always pay cash, right? They can't take the field if you can pay cash, right? The tzarach el hasnais, you got to make a tanai. If they come and try and grab it with different tainas, they say it was stolen. He's not taking achrayus on the field. אבל אם אין המערתיים אלא על חלק השותף בלבד, כגון שתיים שמוכר השותף יוכל להעיד לו שזה אין נגע בעדות כלל. Okay, so we're going to have to really see inside what's going on over here. It's a complicated, it's actually Gemara in Bava Basra. Turn to the Torah. Simon Lamed Zayin, if I remember correctly. Lamed Zayin. It's on page Shin base, Shin Aleph. Says the Torah. Let's read. We'll start inside with the Torah, right?
which page?
Shin Aleph. Eish. Kol eidus sheish lo le'adam anat boi pasul lahayid. If you have any benefit from eidus, you can't testify. Lefichach. Karka shnei shutfim. Karka shnei shutfim. Yeah. And then one guy comes to say, huh? Yeah.
Next page.
We just done. He stole it. The partner, Shimon, can't testify to puzzle the Levi's witnesses, right? ואפילו החלק השותף לא יהיה לידוסי אלא אם כן שסילק עצמאי ממנו וקונה מידי שלא נשאר שום זכות. Only if he's mesalik himself, he's got no zchus anymore. Otherwise, he can't testify. Keep going. ואפילו שלא סילק עצמאי עד לאחר error, even if he didn't do the silik until after error, it's good. The tzarach l'hasnais, he's got to make a condition. Shemiyavai bal chayvai, if Shimon's Baal Chayv comes, Ligvoi Soy B'menu B'shvil Chayvai, Shu Yisal Kenu B'mayis. They'll pay him off with cash.
It's a different lesson than that.
They always say Joshua a bit. Imlay Kain, if he's not Masalik him with this cash, Dimlay Kain Shemu who made Kedei Lamidoi B'yadai, he's going to testify in order to keep the karka in Reuven's hand.
In order.
Kedei Shipar B'menu Baal Chayvai, in order to pay off his creditor. Now, you can say affiliation soda acheres, but he's got other fields he could pay off with. It's not enough. It's not enough he's got other fields. I don't know how much money this guy owes. Could be he owes a lot of people money. So therefore, even if he's got other fields, too bad. You got it.
So which half are we talking about?
Shimon's half, not Reuven's half.
Shimon's half, right?
V'gam tzarich l'hasnais, he's also going to make a condition. If they come and say, it was stolen, he's not taking a achrayas. We're going to see, it's a Gemara. What is this achrayas business? So take a look in the Beis Yosef. Turn back a page. Beis Yosef. We haven't got a lot of time, we'll start it though. Perek Cheskas Abatim. You got it? Kol.
Where is it? It's on.
Beis Yosef Kol.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Kol Eidim Sheish Le'ena V'chulei. Perek Cheskas Abatim. Oma Shmuel. Hashutfim Me'idim Zelzeh. Shmuel says Eidim, partners, can be made Zelzeh. Uparich. Amai, no, you can be listening. How can they testify that they get? He can be made when he says, I've got nothing to do with this field. Who cares if he wrote it? It doesn't help you. Vatanya, it says in the Brisa, what's it then? Says the Brisa, it's meaningless. If I say any din advarim in this Gemara, what does that mean? It means nothing. What does it mean? You come to the Rav and you try and sell your chometz, say any din advarim in my chometz, in my whiskey. It means nothing. Yodi misalekas. It's not a kinyan. So outside Gemara, what are we talking about? Shekala miyada. Talking about he did a kinyan. He did a kinyan, so now it's no longer his field. So the Gemara, so if he did a kinyan, my hava. He can use it for his Baal Chayv. When his Baal Chayv comes, when the mob comes and says, give us the money or us, he can say, take my field. Even if he's misalik himself from it. The Gemara says, what's he talking about? He's Mekabel Achrayas. He took Achrayas.
What does that mean?
So it says Gemara. Achrayas demand. What Achrayas are we talking about here? If it's talking about Christ to the whole world, Kol Shekain the Nichalei. Even more so, is he gonna lie? Al Achrayas the Isilei Machmosei. Elamai is talking about Achrayas that comes from from the field. So what's going on? Let's take a look. Pirsha Rashbam. Rashbam explains Neigim Beidus and Hein. Why they negay Beidus? Rashbam is going to explain the whole Gemara. Why a shut him negay Beidus? The Chosman Shaloi Chilku Lagamrei. We're in the Beis Yosef. The Chosman Shaloi Chilku Lagamrei. Imitol Ma'ar Min Asada Yafsidu Shneim. Because Chosman they still shut him in the field. If someone comes along and grabs half of it, they're going to end up with a quarter each. They'll split it quarter. So the Chosav Lei Dinad Var Mainly made Lechaveiroi. Okay, Dinad Var Mainly Besada Bekula. I've not do anything in the field. So B'Shekana Miyadeh, what does B'Shekana Miyadeh mean? It says a Rashbam. There's no Rashi in Bava Baz, there's all Rashbam over there. B'Shekana Miyadeh, B'Kinyan Suda. He did the Kinyan Suda on the field. Dahash Tadika Kinyan Al Tnai. Al Tnai Zeh, Amina Megufa Salek Nafshe, the Kinyan Bichti Lo Yavedin. So once he does his Kinyan Suda, that's it. He's out of the whole field. Keep going. So what happens now? we're worried he's going to lie for Baal Chayvai, right?
Potentially.
What did the Gemara say? The Gemara's Lashon was, Mamida b'fnei Baal Chayvai, he used a field to pay off his debt. Which Baal Chayvai? HaKaidem, Lakna. Before he was kind of the field, before he did this kinyan, before he did this siluk. V'yigbe mechetzi shalai. And the Baal Chayvai is going to take his half, v'lo yeh leiva rasha. He doesn't want to be a leiva rasha. In other words, why would he rather mess over the guy that lent him money, than the guy he just did a kinyan to? Right?
I'm not sure I follow that one.
He doesn't. The big question is, why is he going to lie? We're worried. You have to keep in mind the whole chashash is going to lie and say the Levi's Eidim are psulim.
Right.
So he's going to lie in based in the Levi's Eidim are psulim. Why? He shouldn't be a Levi Rasha v'lo Yishalim. That he shouldn't be a guy who doesn't pay off his debt. He wants to pay off his debt to whoever it is. So because of that, he's going to lie. I have a lot of places say, what? He's going to, we saw this before, he's going to be over one Avera, a small Avera of Levi Rosh of Leishalim, and he's going to lie in based in. So he said, that's a lie people know about, this is a lie no one knows about. That's why he doesn't mind. So Levi Rosh of Leishalim, it's not that he's like a big tzaddik, he's got to pay back his debt. He doesn't want to be a guy that doesn't pay back his debt. He doesn't want everyone to know that he's got bad credit. He doesn't ruin his credit score. That's what it boils down to. He's got no problem lying in based in, Levi Rosh of Leishalim. He just doesn't want to lose credit. He doesn't want to ruin his credit. Okay? So this guy, he's going to lie. He doesn't want to be stuck and not pay his debt. He wants to pay off. He wants everyone to know he's got good credit. He borrowed money, he paid back. If Levi's error works, he gets the field, he can't use his field to pay back Yankel. So Gemara says, we're talking about there's achrayas. What type of achrayas? Achrayas da'alma. Hama'arer v'ayim shalavaysahi. So kol shkein denichalei. If he's taking a achrayas and kol shkein denichalei, the chimapek b'nei alei didei das alei machmasek going bal choivai. That what? If someone borrowed money, if someone lent him money, he can testify on it. Gabi ira de alma, de my ichbeslei ilamide b'fnei b'choivai. Alagabe lekech nami kiven de kibel alech rayis mikir rasha ad kan in his bar divrei Rabbeinu. So what he's saying, I think, is that, correct me if you think I'm wrong, we're over the time, is that he's saying is like this. This guy takes a achrayas on the field. When he sells it to, whose achrayas is it? When he sells it to Reuven, he's taking a achrayas.
Who's he?
When Shimon sells his half of the field to Reuven,
Oh, his half.
he was Masalik himself from the field. He didn't. What does it mean he was Masalik himself from the field? He didn't just say, take a field for free, right? No one believes that. It means, give me $500,000 and I'll give you half the field. So Reuven says to him, you're taking a achrayas, I'm not going to get messed over with Yankel? 100%, you have a achrayas, right? So now when Yankel shows up and says, give me the field, or Levi should brings the Eidim, there's no enough commitment to him. Either way, either Reuven gets the field, if Levi takes the field, either he's going to have to pay back Reuven, or he's going to have to pay back Levi. So there's not enough commitment to him. Either way, he's either Levi Rosh Lo Yishalem, or he sold a bad field. He owes that guy money. So there's not enough commitment to him who he has to pay. Once he takes a achrayas on the field, when he gives it to Reuven, either way,
He's taking a achrayas to pay back the debt.
the debt he has to pay back anyway. But the question is now, if the field gets grabbed by Levi, so then Reuven loses, right? So Reuven's going to come to say, I gave you $500,000 for the field. So if he sold him without a achrayas, he says, listen, I sold you without achrayas, you lost your $500,000. So then he's got an incentive to lie. But if he says, okay, here's your $500,000 back, so there's no incentive anymore. Either way, he's got to give it back. Either way, he's out of pocket. Either he's got to pay Levi or he's got to pay Reuven.
Shimon takes a achrayas that
No shear on Sunday.
that if he does lose the field, then
He can learn on
Shimon
Sunday.
Yeah, so either way, so there's no benefit.
On Sunday? Ain't get on Sunday?
It would be, but there's a Bostovic business.
They're singing and dancing, they finish I don't know when,
Yeah.
so we just,
The only reason I pointed out is Shachar had different lashon.
why?
Because
What's the difference?
It could be his chaylik on the Torah.
I don't
It
see.
could be the way, because I looked up the Sma.
Yeah.
He's chaylik on the Bach. He says that
He's chaylik on the Bach for
taking
sure,
a price
yeah.
to pay back the
Right, the Bach has a whole
pay
different
back
shot.
Ruben, not to pay
Yeah,
Levi.
Right, the Bach has a whole different.
And but the